It's interesting the things that you'll find in the basement when you're looking for props. The most interesting thing that we found while we were looking for props was this. I guess it's a bowl. For your plain archaeologist, you can find all sorts of interesting things. Archaeologists have found tons of ancient documents and ancient tablets that tell us a lot about the ancient world. There's a verse in the New Testament, in the book of Acts chapter 7, verse 22, that says Moses was learned or was taught in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. We know from the book of Exodus that Moses was actually raised in Pharaoh's own household. Well, archaeology has told us that there's some very interesting things that Moses would have been taught as being a member of Pharaoh's own household. There's a collection of ancient medical documents called the Ebers Papyrus that was found in Egypt that tells us about the Egyptian medical wisdom, the things that they would have taught somebody like Moses about medicine, about how to treat patients. Let me give you some examples. According to the Ebers Papyrus, the way to treat an infected splinter wound would be to make an ointment comprised of worm's blood mixed with the dung of a donkey. Believe it or not. The Egyptian prescription for handling constipation would be to take cat dung and put it on bread and go ahead and have a nice big bite. And just to wash it down, you ought to have a swig of beer. Yeah, I would think so. If you wanted to cure a loss of hair, no need to go to get Rogaine or go to the hair club for men. What you needed to do, according to the Ebers Papyrus, according to Egyptian medical wisdom, was to take the decomposing fat of a cat and mix it with the decomposing flesh of a crocodile and of a snake and put it all together and mix it up with honey and, for good measure, throw in some crushed donkey's teeth, and then go ahead and have a nice bowl of that, and that should be able to cure your hair loss. By the way, they also had some prescriptions for how to stop a baby from crying. What you ought to do is take spoiled milk, and believe it or not, add to that fly dung. I don't know how exactly you get fly dung. I don't even know what it would look like, but I guess you find it on the walls or something. You put that in the spoiled milk and give that to the baby, and the baby, according to the Ebers Papyrus, will instantly stop crying. Yeah, I bet he will. See, it's interesting. All that is in the ancient Egyptian medical wisdom. And before we make too much fun of them, what do we know about that they didn't know anything about? We know about the existence of germs. In fact, we've only known about the existence of germs for a couple hundred years. And remember what we said before in the book of Acts, that Moses was taught all the wisdom of the Egyptians. We know that from the Bible that Moses was the author of the first 5 books of the Bible. You would think that some of that craziness would have made it into the Bible. But the fact is that none of it made it into the Bible. And remember, before we make too much fun of the Egyptians, they're the most advanced society on the face of the earth at the time. And yet none of that kind of craziness makes it into the Bible. In fact, what the Bible has to say about the sciences, what the Bible has to say about medicine, is absolutely profound and has changed the course of the world's history. In this section of the website, we'll look at the wealth of scientific evidence. We'll look at the overwhelming evidence from different fields of science, from astronomy, from astrophysics, from meteorology, from oceanography, from across the gambit of the different sciences, to show exactly what the Bible has to say about science and to show that it is absolutely accurate.